In 2006, my final stop was Qana. On the 30th of July, a missile struck the building in which two families were sheltering, killing 27, the youngest only 9 months old. The family had left their own homes to shelter together in the building. They believed its size would protect them. Tragically, the opposite was true. Muhammad, who lost his mother, his wife and his 5 children, showed me the ruins.
From sunset, there was a lot of shelling in that valley, lots of missiles and planes. At 11 p.m., the helicopters were very low, and I thought there was going to be an attack. The helicopters went away, and the bombing began, and carried on, getting heavier and heavier. At 1 a.m., the whole world exploded. The house collapsed. All 3 floors collapsed on top of us. The missile which attacked us here went through and ended in the ground. Everyone who was in this room was blown into the next room. 27 martyrs in that one instant.
On the day I arrived, the families had come together for the first time since that night to commemorate the loss of their relatives. Sana, Muhammad's cousin, lost her mother and father and her 2 brothers together with her older sister.
I was scared, but normally when I'm scared I cry out for my mother or father. I stood up and shouted, "Mum, Dad," I said, "if you can hear me, answer me." I screamed and screamed, but no one answered. My sister Zainab was pulling children from the rubble. I said to her, "Where are Mum and Dad?" She said, "I haven't seen them yet. They're still sleeping." Because it was dark, I couldn't find my parents. When I was leaving, I heard someone calling out, but I don't know whose voice it was.
A year later, I have come back to Qana. I had heard that Muhammad had remarried, but was still living in the house he had shared with his family for 15 years.
This is the house where my children grew up. This is my family. This is my wife, my eldest daughter Hawra, 12.5 years old, Ali, 11 years old, Yahya, 9 years old, Asim, 7 years old, Zahra, this is Zahra's photo. Zahra was 2.5 years old. She was not yet aware of this world. I built this part of the house after the war. I have got married now and I live here. So I'm living in this part of the house, but I come back here each day to see their photos and the life we shared. I live in the past, but I have hope for the future.
But Muhammad's vision of the future is one colored by the tragic events of last year.
I'm trying to start a new family. But if I started a new family, it won't make me forget the past. I have vowed that if God blesses me with children, I will give them the same names as my children who died. I want them to grow up to take revenge for their brothers and sisters. That is, if God does not grant me revenge before I leave this life. This is how I want to bring them up.
Despite his marriage, Muhammad had found it impossible to move on.